You know, we need sustenance, and the thing, what you put in is the results of what your body's gonna look or be and feel. You put in junk, you're gonna look like junk.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, I'm not saying this to boast or anything, but I'm 46 years old. I mean,
look at this. Get on that. Get through that again.
Let's go.
Boy, hold on. Get on. Look at I was like, what the heck? Boy, make me licking my lips. I was like, do that again, boy. Look at this little guy. Look at it. Just,
hey, you got some arms, man.
Look at it. Ooh.
But I'm 46 years old. I still play basketball with people half my age.
Dude, you ball it up still.
I mean, I'm still playing sports. I coach all my girls' sports. I mean, I might not be the strongest. I might not be the fastest. I might not be this, whatever. But if you put me in a situation that requires some kind of, puts a physical demand on my body against people even half my age and like a wide variety, if we had like a decathlon of events that require physical exertion,
I like mollywop some food.
I like my chances.
We got my boy P in the house. Project 5P. What's up, P? It's gonna be hard to call you by just P.
You've been doing it for 20 years. I tell you, you made it big, and now you want to, put on a bow tie and call everybody by their full official name. And
no, it's not that I made it big. It's just when I don't know, because when I'm like, "What's up, P? What's up, P?" But when I want to formally introduce you, I'm like, "What's up?" Right. You know, SpongeBob's friend. Right?
This guy.
I didn't say it.
Oh my goodness.
Actually, if you go P, and what's his last name? Star, P Star.
Is that really his last name?
Yeah. P Star, then P Star's
right.
So you star in other movies, right? No.
I wear a star when I'm on stage. That's my costume.
Man, dude, welcome back to the pod. I know, we've been...
You're not going to put that in, right?
We're putting all that in.
Oh,
now look at you. Well, welcome to the pod again, man. I know
Thanks,
we've been
man.
talking about getting you back on. I know we're just messing around, having fun right now. But, bro, give us an update. What have you been doing since the last... We got a lot of people loving that. Again, my downloads are big on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And the emails I got about you were... pretty dope. I mean, we talked about a lot, Project 5P, there are 5 points, there are 5 Ps. And, Johnny Fisher, you remember him when he was here. Just that podcast turned out great. So give us an update. What you been up to, man? What you been doing since the pod? What's new? And we'll just get into what you have going on.
Man, a lot of the same. Just family life, homesteading, trying to, establish ourselves more and being independent from the system. Everything from schooling the children to preparedness to gardening to, everything that you would think as a homestead, land acquisition, aiming for more and more of that. Anything we can do to separate ourselves. The Bible says, come out from among her and be separate. So that's what we're aiming to do.
Yeah, when I hear that, because there's things that I know we need to start doing and have done. And every time I see a post of yours, every time you go to a farmer's market, which I want to get into, just reminds me where I'm lacking, And I think that's the importance of bringing you back on, to get rid of the stigma of why people, you would say, left, liberal, or just culture today would think, oh, that's just extremism. That's just, you being a Karen or a Darren, being this type of, mindset, put that. Because I've known you my whole life, and you're not like that. You're pretty straightforward. A guy that was, like you said, it was just growing up, the lifestyle was, not godly, outside of, your relationship with Christ now, and it's just from the streets, but to change it to be where you're at now, man, it's good to see that, it's cool to see that, and I know, last time, maybe give everybody an update of like the 5 Ps, what they stand for.
The 5 Ps are provide, protect, promote, prepare, and present. So it's kind of just like a mission statement, for lack of a better term, or just a way of focusing on goals and objectives for what I want my life to be, what I want to do for my family, my friends, the people I love, what kind of legacy I want to live. And all those things are biblically based.
Yeah.
You know, they all come from biblical perspective. Provide for your family. There's verses, you know, in the Bible. I won't get in, you know, go into a big old long sermon, but that, you know, if you don't provide for your family, you're worse than an infidel, stuff like that. Promote, that comes from, you know, bringing your family up, teaching your children in the way they should go. So lifting up and promoting your children through the stages of life, and also your wife. Bible talks about loving and nurturing your wife, and that word nurture means to kind of bring her up. Like, it's kind of the same as, you know, you nurture a child, you know, nurture a baby. You're bringing her up, you're promoting her, teaching. Protect, obviously, is a easy one and a given. Prepare, we're into preparedness in a natural sense, you know, on this earth, preparedness, you know, emergency preparedness type stuff, but also just preparing, like I said, the children for life, giving them life skills, teaching them, most importantly, spiritually preparing them for, I mean, this world's a nutcase right now, you know, for the things that they're going to encounter. And present, being present, physically present, mentally present. It's just a reminder, because a lot of times, especially with us, we're so busy. I mean, we're constant. We got so many different things going on with businesses and you know, different ventures of things that we're trying to accomplish, that sometimes you get caught up in the action and the doing, that you just got to kind of slow down and be present in the moment, right? And like I said, be physically present. My kids have been in sports since, you know, 3 years old. Karate, I'm there for every single, you know, karate instruction, all their martial arts stuff. I've coached all their sports since they were 3, soccer, baseball, softball, basketball. Can't even remember them all. But just being present, being there, being involved, hands-on.
Yeah, I like that. You know, it's one of these things where, again, I feel like the basic foundational, you know, family principles, those are just not relevant now, man. Those are looked down on. They're considered, you know, too extreme, or, you know, it's like the free spirit now. We hear it all the time in the news. It's like they're destroying, you know, that foundational family, you know, and that way you mentioned everything. It brings back to what I believe is, like you said, you know, what I believe and what I feel like you're saying is, you know, it's a good Christian foundation home.
Yeah.
You know, and I think where we're at, you know, same way with ours, that's why we've homeschooled, you know, we've done all that, you know. I think one thing we're lacking, obviously, because we're in the city, you know, it's like we can't, Caleb has his little garden that's pretty beat up, but we're eating his zucchini, you know, he's got watermelon ground, so he's doing okay. He's very into, you know, homesteading and preparing, man. And, you know, let's get into now, and I think we talked on it. I think we mainly talked about the 5 Ps, but what kind of got you into homesteading, breaking away from the system, the normal system that we all are so attached to right now?
Honestly, I mean, it really began, I think, with my children, my oldest daughter specifically. I was always a city boy. I would look at country life, and it, you know, it was nice to go maybe camping every once in a while for a night, but I was like, there's no way I could live like that.
Yeah.
And my daughter, as soon as she was 2, had a horse infatuation, right? So I'd take her to horseback riding lessons. So we spent a lot of time out in the country, around farms and things like that. I thought it was a phase, so I didn't really get too involved with it. I mean, I would take her, obviously, but I didn't think much of it. But as time grew, she did not grow out of it and became even more infatuated. We started leasing a horse eventually, so we were at the farm even more often. And then I'm starting to, okay, now we have a horse. I got a muck stalls. We're feeding the horse. We're a lot more around farm animals. Starting to dabble a little more in checking out the garden and like kind of, hey, I'm feeling this, you know, to the point where we bought a horse at one point and then we were there, you know, all the time. And then, like I said, just society as a whole. I mean, this system, anybody with half a brain can look at this system and tell that this is not going to last for any length of time. I mean, if COVID didn't teach us that, you know, the system is so fragile that we depend on, and it can be, you know, one signature from one of our wonderful politicians, and you know everything's shut down. You know,
well, they proved that already,
right?
You know, so, I heard. No, go ahead.
I mean, we can't depend on it. You can't depend on this system, and like you were saying with your son growing a garden. I tell people that all the time, even if you're living in the city, even if you're not there yet to where you're out living on acreage and, you know, off grid or whatever, grow something, start. Everybody can start something. You know, a lot of people have this mentality that if something goes wrong, then I'm going to bug out to the mountains and live off the land. No, you're not. You can't even grow a cucumber right now. What makes you think you're going to be able to live off the land? You know what I'm saying?
That's real.
So,
well, see, I think that's the importance of being aware, man. Because if you're not, because you look at it biblically too, man. Was it the 5 virgins? If you're not ready, man, you're gonna get left behind, man. If you're gonna be on the late train, you know. And I think you doing that, I don't know, that in my son has really just was born into him. He was born into it. You know, he's had this spirit of always just wanting to fight, wanting to protect, wanting to build. He builds junk out of junk, you know, and he shows me everything. Even now, it's like, dude, you're 14.
Right.
It's just cardboard and tape, you know, but it's important to he sees something else.
Yeah.
So if we're not investing in that, then, you know, we as parents are failing. You know, sometimes, like you said, you thought the horse was a phase. No, man, it's something that I believe God put in her and was like, and it put something in you, like an urgency to make, like, what you thought, like, I'm never going to be a country boy, but now, dude, you're as white as they get.
I'm out there. I mean, we're out there all the time now. I mean, it's like I said, it's a way of life now.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, and I probably wouldn't have been if it wasn't for that. I mean, I've always had some interest in preparedness and even gardening or storing water. I came across just a couple weeks ago some pamphlets that I had about that kind of stuff, about preparing gardens, that I had picked up probably 15 years ago.
Wow.
So there's always a little bit of interest, but
the seed was
the seed was there. But actually following through with it, I mean, there's so much satisfaction in it too. I mean, you know, it's a whole nother, when you can eat off a plate, eat dinner off of food that you produced. I mean, it's just, there's a sense of gratification there, and accomplishment, and, you know, thanking the Father for providing even more so than going and picking it up at the store, you know?
Yeah, because even saying that, man, there are things that we see social media, you know, the way they're manufacturing fruit and food. You know, it's like watermelon. I see they're growing watermelon, but they're not using seed. And they say, hey, seedless. You know, a long time ago, you think, oh, seedless, that's convenient. So people are so easily attracted to convenience. It's like, oh, no seeds. You know, it's like, I can't do that. I'm good. All right. So there is what we're eating really real, you know? So what we've learned to say, anything with seeds, you know, anything with bone in chicken or any type of steak, you know, we get it with that, you know, because we know, hey, man, it has bones, you know, it has seeds, it's natural, you know. And so what are your thoughts on, like, then the processing of food and, you know, maybe what you've heard or what you've studied and seen?
The life is in the seed, first of all. I mean, you can't, life is in the seed, right?
But that poor,
I mean, they're trying to do that with fruit. They're trying to do it with animals. They're trying to do it with men.
Yeah.
You got toxic masculinity, right?
Yeah.
They want to castrate men, take away the seed.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, it's just the way society's operating right now. But to answer your question, and a big part of Project 5P and just my lifestyle as a whole is just very health oriented. Like our YouTube channel, the subtitle is Preserving a Healthy Home. So everything I do is health related. I mean, I'm a licensed nutritionist, strength and conditioning coach. I mean, so everything's kind of geared with that foundation that I already have. So all this stuff's what they call food these days is an abomination, man. It's disgusting. It's.
Well, give some examples. I can see
I'm trying to be careful how I tiptoe through it.
Yeah.
But, the seedless, they want everything to grow in a lab, you know. Fruit, even animals now. We got lab-grown meat that just last week got approved by the FDA to be served in restaurants.
Wow.
And will soon be available for consumers. I mean, there's a reason why there's rich individuals, very, very wealthy individuals that are buying up all the farmland. You would think, oh, wow, they're getting into farming. But wait, they're also against farming and against meat consumption. So, what are their intentions with all that farmland? It's definitely not to farm. It's definitely not to feed people. Obviously, to take away that opportunity from farmers or from people that would use it for farming.
Yeah, again, it's a level. It's really not a level, but it's just a world of control, man. And we, the little guys, you know, we can't attain that. You know, there's no way we were born into Bill Gates money, you know, Bezos money, you know, Musk money. But, you know, and that always puts a urgency in me. It's not so much just a fear, but a reality, man. A lot of people are they're so hooked on convenience. How fast can I get it? How fast can that video entertain me? You know, just temporary, you know, euphoria of, you know, entertain me, you know, give me my food fast. Oh, you know, it all started with the microwave back then, you know, and it's like, I grew up into where we had a microwave, but imagine those people when the microwave first came out and they're like, really? Man, what?
Yeah.
Look, babe, it's done.
Yeah.
You know, people get into that world of like what's convenient, you know, and to work hard for it. We don't have that generation. Your kids, my kids, and a few other kids are going to appreciate the hard work and not just, hey, just show up here.
Right.
You know, and I think obviously that's what you're promoting, man, and that's what we're losing big time.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, you whenever you put somebody in a position, whether it's somebody, a person, an organization, just a system in general, in a position to provide everything you need, you also put them in the position and power to take it all away. So personally, I don't want to be dependent on that because I've seen it taken away.
Yeah. Maybe give an example.
I mean, COVID was a perfect example.
Yeah.
You know, one swipe of the pen and, you can't go to the store anymore. Or, simple as that. Or you can't go to work anymore.
Yeah.
Or if you want to go to work, you have to do what we're telling you to do, and you have to do certain things and obey us. And what if I don't agree? Well, too bad. You got to, because they're the source. We control the source. So that's why I encourage people, be separate as much as possible, be independent from this system in as many ways as possible. We stress entrepreneurship as much as possible in our own family and with the children, just not being dependent on that system because we've seen it fail. We've seen it crumble. When you're $32 trillion in debt, it's just a matter of time. It's not like, I mean, you can see the writing on the wall. It's unsustainable. Our system, the way it's built and the way it's been corrupted, it's not sustainable. It's not a question of if, it's just a question of when. Yeah.
And how come a lot of people aren't really seeing that? I know I mentioned phones, I mentioned the convenience, the distraction. It's like I heard a podcast, I actually did it last episode. I did a lab reaction. I don't know if you've heard of Andrew Tate. I like that guy a lot. I would say 10 years ago, dirtbag, money guy, womanizer, all that. But now that he's, in this world where he's on house arrest, false accusations, all this stuff. But he talks about the control he used. Was it the 5 monkeys experiment?
Oh yeah, I heard that one.
You know, it's like put a banana on top.
Right.
They go get it. They'll hose them down, and they keep doing hose them down. After some time, they're trained to not get that because they know what's going to happen.
Not only do the monkeys no longer climb up, but they would introduce a new monkey that didn't know yet. So when that new monkey had never experienced being hosed down, when he tries to get the banana, when he would try to climb that rope, the other monkeys would attack and not let him.
Yeah.
Right.
And so they switch them out every week until 5 new monkeys come in, and then, or whatever, they don't know before. They just know not to touch it. I'm going to get beat up. Whereas before, they never experienced getting hosed.
And this happened during COVID. I mean, they successfully turned neighbor against neighbor. You know, you had literally people calling the police saying, I see a child outside playing at the playground. God forbid. Yeah. You know, you need to send the police over here. It's like, I mean, it's been done right before our eyes, and without getting too deep into the weeds on everything that's been exposed and revealed and is now mainstream knowledge since then, is that everything, or a large majority of the things that were being said by certain voices while it was happening and were being called conspiracy theorists or whatever, is now like, oh, they were right.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, you said, why don't people think that? I think it's fear, honestly. I used to be that way. I was thinking of this recently, that I would think of, you know, people would tell me stories of, you know, corruption in the government or in different institutions. And I would think to myself, I'd be like, that, I don't want to think about that. Like, because once you think about something and acknowledge it, you have some form of responsibility and accountability to yourself, to the people around you. So it's easier to ignore it. Like, I don't want to believe that.
Yeah.
You know,
so it's a sense of denial. You know, it's like you put yourself in a like out of sight, out of mind. You know, the less you know, the more, the less is like, I got to worry about. And I think that's where a lot of people are. I got some friends that were so into the lockdowns, into vaxes, into all that, man. I don't know if this will probably get pulled down after some time, but it'll be on Rumble, of course. Shout out Rumble.
Right.
You know, but it's so much now that these guys are starting to feel like, man, we were wrong. So what they do is they double down. Right. You know, and I think that's, and they put it to the people, because it's hard to really accept that, dude, you were wrong. We live in a world where it's like, you cannot just humble yourself. It's like, man, guys, I was wrong. I'm sorry. You know, because you look back at all these individuals, these people, this culture that has done nothing but you bigot, you this, you that, you're a conspiracy. You know, you look like a fool. You know, you think, man, I treated people like that. You know, then you get those ones that are like, man, I'm sorry. I'm changing. And I got friends now, especially, you know, that work in media, that work in all this, and they just double down, you know, and it's like they don't want to admit they're wrong when they know, you know, and I think that's, you know, people like us get called the extremists, the conspiracy theorists, and now you see it all over Twitter. It's like, oh, we were right. Those conspiracy guys were right.
Right.
You know, why are you surprised? You know, and so, you know, I like how you're getting into that, because really that's kind of what I want to get into, this flow of the importance of homesteading and preparing, you know, and obviously get into what you do now. You know, but
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, but I just think that's where I'm going to keep pushing this type of real content. You know, I've told numerous people that are on the podcast, man, you know, you have to pick a flavor in life. You know, everyone likes vanilla because everything goes with vanilla. I've said this a million times, you know, but sometimes people don't like Rocky Road. They don't like it. So you just got to pick a flavor someone's going to like or not. You can't just be vanilla your whole life.
Right.
You know, so, and I think talking about stuff like this, man, it's...
Jesus said the same thing, right? You're either hot or cold. If you're lukewarm, if you're in the middle, I'll spit you out of my mouth. Pick a side, yo. Pick a side.
Yeah, and that's what's... Man.
But the problem is, like you were just saying, people don't want to admit they're wrong. The problem with that is that once you pick a side, if you realize you're on the wrong side, be man, woman enough to, you know, fess up. You know, the society, media, government, whoever you want to say, is so good at dividing that you're either on this side or you're on this side, is that sometimes we forget, that maybe I was wrong about that.
Yeah.
I tend to be more conservative, but I agree with you on that. I can tell somebody I agree with you on that,
Yeah.
or I can tell a conservative. I tend to be this, but on that I don't. You don't have to be so extreme. The media, like I said, and government, everybody has made these two, like you're either here or you're here.
Yeah.
In belief systems, and whereas, like I said, in the Bible, it is you're either hot or cold. You're on one side or the other when it comes to serving and obeying the Bible and obeying God. It's not. Don't let somebody else define. I'm typically this, so that means every thought that everybody else has in that group, I have to share every single one of those thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or if I'm on this side, I'm conservative, so that means I have to believe this, and I have to believe that, and I have to follow this, and otherwise they won't accept me in their group. They'll call me that.
I mean, I guess there's a double standard in life, man. And I think what I think I've learned to separate myself from is the cult mentality of it. Right. And just, I like to stick to, I want to err on the side of what God's word called us to be, man, is to be a witness, love God, love people. That's it, man. And if that puts me on the side, by default, then I accept that, but, I think one thing, there's a problem now, man, because when you think about the homesteading life, the preparedness, everything you represent and what your beliefs are, really just it encompasses this whole topic, especially what you're doing, because I feel like that's what this culture is trying to just erase away, and to get you and people think there aren't many people like you. There are. They're the silent majority, man. They're old school. They're not on social media promoting it. One thing, we live in a fake world, man. Social media is not real. They want to act like they, balling it up, but they're not. Right. They're at home struggling, so their mental state, because you said, being prepared mentally, physically, emotionally, being present, and these guys aren't. They want to get away to a false reality here, and I think what you're promoting is, it's just, it's a reminder, man, where, again, I personally am lacking, where I need to focus on and get, more in tune to that, man, because like you said, it's not a matter of time, it's just when now that's going to happen. Yeah. So now let's get into what you've been up to, man, because you've been doing, I visited, you put it on a post and you tagged me. I was like, man, I'm going out there. You're at farmers markets now, and you're making, what are you doing? You're making food. What are you doing?
Well, one of our businesses is the freeze-dried foods. So it kind of turned into a business on accident. We started, just for our own preparedness journey, freeze drying foods, because we store, we can get into that if you want, but we, store food for hard times. But wheat, rice, beans, corn, oats, those things. As a nutritionist, I'm like, I need fruits and vegetables. I need protein. I need, there's other foods that don't really store well long term. The only way to do that is for long term is freeze drying. So bought a freeze drying machine and started doing it for ourselves, and it kind of morphed into a business over time. Yeah. So we're doing that now. We
name that business real quick, because I put it up on
StoreHouse freeze dried foods. Yeah, you want to try some? I brought you some. What kind of fruit you like?
Man,
you like strawberries?
I love them.
Yeah. The strawberries are bomb.
All right, so you got your own packaging. Go to here. Go to 7.
Yeah, bam.
Look at that.
StoreHouseFDFoods.com.
And you have your website, everything, huh?
Yeah.
Look at that. And go ahead.
I mean, I'll let you speak for it, but I can say, if you've ever had freeze-dried food, ever go to the store and buy freeze-dried strawberries, that's what I should have done. I should have brought some store-bought freeze-dried strawberries. They come in little wrinkled slivers. Show them a strawberry.
I mean, this is a strawberry. I mean, it's not only that, the packaging's awesome, but it's full.
Right. Yeah.
Like, you get these chips that are like
a
quart. Look at that. I mean, it's a strawberry, boy.
Yeah. We do real strawberries, like chunks of strawberry. It's not no little sliver.
My God.
I like the peaches too.
Oh, I got you
Peaches are
covered.
good. They taste just like
Yo,
you can tell there's.
because I know we bought some,
actually
but
get that a lot, and that comes back to what you were talking about with the way food has changed lately. Is what she said is, I like this peaches because they actually taste like peaches. We've gotten so far away from real natural food that everything is so chemically laced that we don't taste food anymore.
Yeah.
People have done the same with my strawberries. That when we have samples at the farmers markets or different places they eat, and they're like, "Wow, that tastes like a strawberry," and they're not used to freeze dried or any foods for that matter actually tasting. People forgot what actual fruit tastes like, and we have very high standards on the fruits that we pick, the farmers that we work with.
Man.
Bam, which camera?
Here, Chevin, Lily's camera.
Man.
Which one's that?
She said she likes peaches, so I'm gonna give her some of these.
All right, I'm gonna eat them first. No, here, I'm gonna eat it first. Girl, you didn't want to put your mic on, so.
What?
No, I'm kidding.
We do.
Yeah, keep talking.
We do.
I'll get up and give you this story.
We do candies also, mostly
cool.
just because people ask for it. It was never our intention to do candies, but
Look, I mean, this bag's
It's
full. I mean, you're getting money's worth. Go to 7, Laura.
yeah,
Look at that.
it's full. In fact,
It's to the brim.
when I ordered these bags, they're printed with the ounces on there, right? And I almost regretted putting those numbers on there because, for instance, that's 2 ounces of net weight. Once it's freeze dried, it's hard to fit 2 ounces in there. I got to stuff that bag, but I have to because it's already printed. So these bags they're stuffed.
Oh my gosh,
It's not
dude.
air.
I mean, you guys are getting a legit, because we bought some from you. I didn't eat none because these little monsters.
ate it all?
They ate it all. Well, my son.
Kaylani did.
Kaylani.
She could not stop. And
Right.
like,
She's a
we're
crackhead
supposed
with
to
this.
save these.
Especially the candies.
Yeah. Going back to the candy, we do candies because it's kind of a fad right now. So we do that as well.
Man, dude.
But
I know the Skittles, you did Skittles.
yeah, we do several different candies now. Not only, I mean, that was never our intention, but we please the customers, and also it's good. We keep some for ourselves. We also do ice cream.
Pull them out.
Because when the S hits the F, and you don't want to be living off of beans and rice all the time.
Yeah.
Right?
Man.
I mean, you could, but who wants to? So we do all kinds of stuff. Check this out.
Oh, this is Oreos.
No, it's an Oreo ice cream sandwich, son.
What? Hold on, I didn't try this over there.
Nope.
Pat. Oh, dang.
It won't melt. You can store it in that bag for 25
What
years.
the? Man, bro.
Taste that. It's going to be crunchy. It's good.
Oh. I'm being messy, boy. Dang, bro. How'd you do that? Well, I don't want to give you away your secrets, but.
Well, I mean, it's just a freeze drying process. There's not really
So anybody
too much
can do this.
secrets behind it with the proper machinery.
Yeah.
We do have some techniques that we use to make things last even longer. Our packaging, we have a unique packaging process, stuff like that. But the actual freeze drying process is a pretty standard process.
Yeah. I'm getting it everywhere.
This guy,
Bro,
that's good, right?
it's amazing. I mean, because again, a lot of people think homestead is just boring, all beans, rice, and if you're creative, like you, if you elevate it, I mean, this is good.
You gonna share or what?
I don't know. Well, I gave her the peaches.
Oh, okay, all right.
Man, this is good. Man.
And that ice cream sandwich, if you would have left it in that bag, it'd be just as good 25 years from now as it was
Really?
the day you opened it. Yeah.
I'll put it over there.
Won't melt.
What has been the overall? Because we went out there to the farmers market in Clovis. First, how many farmers markets are you hitting up now? Where are you at? How often do you go?
Right now,
Maybe give a schedule.
Right now, just the one on Friday nights here local, and you're right down the street from you, actually, in Clovis. But as the year, it just depends on the time of year and stuff like that. We just got licensed and approved now. The new packaging was part of that, where we can actually sell in retail. So we're going to be pursuing that.
Really?
Yeah.
Can you keep up with the demand?
That's the problem. We're expanding. We're working on that, laying the groundwork, and expanding to where we can be able to handle that demand. Because right now we can barely keep up with the demand as it is.
Yeah, I can, dude. You can sponsor my podcast.
I wish I would have brought some store-bought freeze-dried stuff to compare it to.
Yep.
But if anybody that's watching, if they've ever had store-bought freeze-dried food, it doesn't look like that or taste like that. I mean, you're getting thin little wrinkled slivers of stuff that looks dehydrated. And dehydration is another method of preserving food, but it's completely different than freeze-drying.
It does what it actually does. It dehydrates. It takes away.
Yeah, well, it uses heat, number one, which degrades the nutritional content right off the bat. So but that's how it takes the moisture out, is by heat. Freeze drying is a totally different process that freezes it at sub-zero temperatures first, and then it draws out the moisture via vacuum. It's in a big, huge vacuum chamber. But what I was going to say is the store-bought stuff, you buy that, it looks dehydrated because it's all wrinkled and shriveled and little tiny slivers. It looks like it's been all dried out. But
maybe we'll do like a leading up to the release this week. We'll do a comparison post.
Yeah.
Where do normally people buy those freeze dry? Maybe I'll just go do a.
They have them everywhere. Grocery stores, local. They'll have them at probably like Save Mart, Vaughn's. They have them at Walmart. They have them at Target.
Okay.
Pretty much.
We'll go buy some.
Yeah.
Man, dude, what else do you have? What else do you specialize in on?
I got pineapple. You like pineapple?
What? Yeah.
My wife will not eat real pineapple. Will not eat fresh pineapple, but this stuff she loves. My kids don't like peaches, but they love the freeze-dried peaches. So, I mean, it's just.
Can I crack this open?
Sure.
Patrick's gonna send me a bill after all this.
What about nectarines?
Man, dude, we love all types of fruit.
Bananas.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to try a banana.
You want to try
I
banana?
don't like bananas.
Here, Laura.
I like
Go to your
real-
camera. I know we don't have a mic on you, but maybe you do a reaction.
You don't have a mic on me?
You have a mic right there in front of her face, no?
It wasn't working, I told you.
Oh.
Oh, the pine. That smells good. Look at that.
You remind me of baby food.
Man, this is good.
Yeah. We're very, very, very picky with
I'm gonna eat that.
the fruit that we choose in the picking process.
Like, what's your
pick our own-
process? Like, what's your process in that?
Well, as much as possible, we pick our own fruit. We have farming partners, local farming partners, where we'll go out and actually pick the fruit ourselves, like literally pick it off the plant. We grow some ourselves as well. But even when we don't physically pick it ourselves, and we get it from these farmers and such, we're very picky with which ones we use. I mean, it pretty much has to be perfect. I mean, you would look at some of the strawberries that we reject and you'd be like, what's wrong? There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But to us, there is. We're very, very strict on
Boy, isn't
quality,
that like
on
Jesus?
freshness, on, what's that?
Isn't that like Jesus?
On,
Pick the fullest things of this world.
on ripeness. Yeah, all that. We're very picky.
This is good, man. I mean, again, I couldn't really eat it because my daughter just destroyed them.
Right.
You know, and we bought a lot from you. You know, it's
Yeah.
like, again, that's one of the main reasons why I wanted to have you on. One, to eat this, and two, to really promote this.
Hey, Laura, I thought you didn't like bananas. You still munching bananas over
Yeah.
Yeah, they're really good.
I mean, I wish I can have my mic on you, but what other things are you
there? I don't
doing?
want to leave your daughter out.
No, she's working. No.
You
Oh,
want
what is that?
Skittles?
Don't let Kehlani see this.
Got some Skittles too. You can give it to the kids later.
Yeah.
Or you didn't get any. You'll probably eat those too.
So, what has been the reaction now doing these again farmers markets in Clovis every Friday.
Well, yeah, from May to October-ish, somewhere in there, yeah.
So what has been the reaction through your customers and people coming by?
It's funny you mention that because I've been filming on a lot of nights to get the taste test reactions, to get candid reaction, like real reaction that's not, staged or anything like that. Just get people just walking up, trying the stuff. And I need to make a video. If you happen to know any video editors, hint, hint.
I got you.
But I need to compile all those because the testimonies are just like she was saying, like they'll taste and be like, wow, that tastes like a real strawberry. Well, no kidding, it is a real strawberry, but people are just blown away. Yeah.
I love it. I mean, I'm with you on this. I'm blown away on this. The pineapple, I feel like right now is my favorite. I've only had the strawberry and the peach, but.
And again, you keep it in that, if you were to keep it in that bag, that fruit would stay good for 25 years. 25 years from now, you open that up, tastes the same way.
Reseal, everything.
Well, you can reseal. I mean, it won't be 25 years now that you've opened it, but if you reseal it and squeeze the air out of it, depending on how long you had it open, it'll still be good for 10, probably easy.
Really?
Yeah.
What got you into, like you said, you're doing this on your own, just, what kind of started this process? Because like you said, not only you're just a preparer, like you said, you're a licensed nutritionist, so you know what the body needs, whether male, female, what to look for, what you're lacking, what to put in. How did you want to get into this, I guess you would say, this aspect of making your own?
Well, like I said, we one of the aspects of preparedness that we're into, in fact, probably the top one is food storage, long-term food storage for emergencies. But most of the stuff that you people store for long-term are the dry goods that will stay good. If you package it right, will stay good for 10, 15, 20 years. But that's corn, rice, wheat, beans, stuff like that, which is, fine and dandy. But from a nutritionist perspective, I look at that and I say it's lacking in a lot of nutrients. Can you live off it? Yes, you'll be alive, but I don't want to, in a case of an emergency, I don't want to be just alive, hanging on to life. I don't want to just have a heartbeat. I want to thrive. I want to be able to still physically exert myself. I want to still be able to enjoy life. I want to be, preparedness is all about trying to maintain some bit of normalcy when society is abnormal, right? So I don't want to hit that point of some type of emergency and be, I'm hanging on to life when I'm so used to being vibrant and athletic and active now. I want to try to maintain that. So seeing those nutritional deficiencies in a lot of the typical long-term food storage type stuff is what prompted me, okay, I need to store more fruits and vegetables, more meats, more protein sources, stuff like that. So that's what got us into freeze drying initially.
Okay. Then you said meats too, but how do you prepare, how do you store meats now? Is it just freezer, let it get freezer burned forever, or how do you?
No, we can freeze dry meats too.
Yeah?
And we have meat in a freezer also. I prescribe to the old saying, 2 is 1 and 1 is none. So I don't put all my eggs in one basket. So we freeze meat too. We have freezers full of meat, but freeze drying is just one more. We have canned meats. But freeze drying is probably the most reliable. It's less susceptible. You don't need electricity to keep it cold. It doesn't matter the heat, the lifespan, the overall shelf life. Everything's going to be better, even better than canned.
That's true. I mean,
Have you done any vegetables? Like
carrots? Yep. I have carrots right now in stock. Actually, I just had a person order like 10 pounds of carrots. 10 pounds of original weight, which comes down to, that's the other great thing about freeze drying is that the weight. You can feel that. That's probably nearly one whole pineapple in there. And you're down to like 2 ounces. It's easy to transport. It's easy to move. Which is great for people with preparedness mindset. It's just easier to store, takes up less space, easy to move around when you need to. But yes, to answer your question, we have done carrots, all kinds of different vegetables. We stock up a lot for ourselves, and we get a lot of orders for that as well.
Man, because I've seen your post too. You're very prepared.
More than a lot, more than most,
Yeah.
not as
So-
much as some. Yeah.
So what's your address so people can?
Right. Don't come to my house because I'm prepared for that too.
Let's go.
So, you've done potatoes before, so they taste like a potato chip, kind of?
It depends on how you prepare them, but we've done mashed potatoes to where all you have to do is rehydrate them if you were to use them. We've done potato slices, thin slices
Yeah.
that are kind of like potato chips once they're.
So
It just depends on how you want to cook them or how you want to eat them. But
So you add a seasoning too before you freeze dry it? Have you done that?
I have done that for us. I haven't done it for a customer yet. Usually because I don't know unless
they
we do a
like.
custom order, which we do those as well. But when it's just mass produced for customers, we don't season it because I don't know necessarily what people would want. People like different levels of salt or this or that.
People are picky, huh?
So that you can season it, once you rehydrate or when you're getting ready to eat it, however to your taste buds. But yeah, we don't put in any of our freeze-dried stuff, except for unless it's specifically ordered and custom ordered from us, we don't add anything. That bag is pineapple and nothing else. There's no
Yep.
preservatives, there's no salt, there's no nothing. Those strawberries are cut strawberries, zero,
That's it.
nothing else.
So you don't put estrogen in there for men to bring down their testosterone?
Definitely not.
Especially what about water? How are you? Because waters, man, in our tap water, there's chlorine. I've heard, conspiracies. Women because right now birth control is so every I would say 90% of women today are taking birth control. So when they pee, they're peeing it out and it's going in our system, our water filtration, and it's going back into our tap waters. And what are men drinking? They're drinking that, estrogen, testosterone blockers and stuff like that, man. What about water? How do you prepare for water? Where do you get water? Do you freeze dry water? I mean, it's like, it seems like you can do a lot with that, man. But what about water for you guys?
Yeah, we do, like I said, 2 is 1, 1 is none. We have lots of different methods of water storage everywhere from 2,500 gallon tanks to 50-gallon drums to, the bottled cases of bottled water that you find at the store, in addition to water filtration. We have lots of different filtration methods that we have, like in our go bags, things like that, but also at home we have a Berkey. One thing we don't quite have in place yet that I want to have in place is water catchment.
Okay.
Water catchment systems that we're working on to, catch and filter rainwater. Oops, did I just say that in California?
Uh-oh. Do we even have rain?
Well, this last
Yeah.
winter we just got drenched. But,
Yeah. I think we're
or
still
spring,
full.
actually.
We're still full.
Yeah.
Yeah. All our was there canals, the river. I know the river's low, but man, I think this was the first time California this year has had that much rain.
Yeah, this year was nice. We got
didn't-
tons.
Went straight to the ocean,
Yeah, no kidding.
So again, man, this is good. I mean, what's your website again? How does the ordering process? How can anybody listen and watch and just really take advantage of this? What's your website? What's the process of putting orders, custom orders?
Yes, StoreHouseFDFoods.com. I believe StoreHouseFreezeDriedFoods.com will redirect to that also, but you can order straight from the website. There's a contact form on there if you want some kind of custom order or specialty order. But all of our typical standard products are on there.
Now, who are your normal customers right now? Have you been seeing?
The big customers that make big orders are the people in the preparedness space, people that see the writing on the wall. Not only for the fragility of the system we hear about it all the time, supply chain issues, food. Look what happened during COVID. You go in and try to buy something from the store, the shelves are darn near empty. Look at what happens anytime there's an earthquake or a flood or a tornado or what do you go to the store and it's empty, so people that want to be prepared for instances like that are the big orders. But as far as the ones and twos and the individual, it's just your everyday people that are eating it right. I want to eat it right now because it tastes so good. They buy it as a snack. They buy it to eat it right now. A little weekend
trip or a park trip.
Yeah.
This is good, dude. I mean, I never thought you'd. Again, you said you never thought it'd blow up like this, right? Or just.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even. When we first started freeze drying, I wasn't planning on doing it as a business at all.
Well, I remember you texted me, and I apologize. You're like, hey, what do you think about the packaging? I didn't get back to you for like a week.
Oh, yeah.
Of dirtbag.
I had already gotten, yeah.
Yeah, but then I looked at it, I was like.
Yeah, I designed that packaging and got some votes from some of our friends and family, and then ended up with that design.
Yo, I mean, this is legit. I'm happy for you because I did go out. Man, I remember that one lady just walked up and took that Skittle. We're like, all of us were like.
She thought that was a sample.
Some people can't read, but it's all right.
It was like, it was this big bag. It was like, okay. We're like, girl, you gonna just
the
take
sign
it?
Specifically says if you tag us on Facebook or tag us on social media, you get a free sample bag. But she just saw the free sample bag part and was like, "Oh, thanks."
She just grabs like, "Oh, it says free." Just
started walking off, and we're like,
we're like
looking at each other like, "Did she just take Skittles?"
like,
and she started opening it.
Yeah, I was like, "Are you for real taking that right now?"
He's like, "You didn't get the money, Jose. Laura, did you? Caleb?"
Yeah, I was looking at you guys like, "Did she?" Did she give you guys money or something? Because you guys were standing out. She didn't give me money. Maybe she gave it to somebody thinking that.
That's funny, man.
Yeah.
So where do you think this is going to go now? Where do you think, like, what's now that you're starting to see, like, man, it's catching some
well,
wind.
The next step, we need to. Like I said, we're laying the foundation to, like the Bible says, count the cost before you start building. You know, so we're laying the foundation to be able to expand and be able to handle the increase in demand, because once we go into stores, we know we're going to have to be producing quite a bit more. It's like I said, it's hard to keep up with the demand as it is now. So yeah, that's what we're working on behind the scenes, working with more farmers, trying to establish those relationships, because we want as much as possible to come from local farms, people that we can go and talk to face to face. Not something that's been sitting on a truck that got shipped from halfway across the country. It's been on a truck for 3 days and then comes into a store and sits for another 4 days. And we want fresh, right off the bush, right off the tree, right off the vine, whatever it is.
Sorry, go ahead. I thought
we want that's our mission. So
see, that reminds me of like you said, water. Like you don't drink out of plastic water bottles anymore, huh? You do?
I mean, I have this. Some of our water storage is the stuff we have stored away is not like in plastic, but generally speaking, no.
Yeah, because I've heard too that there are chemicals. We had a friend of ours a while back, huh, Laura, got cancer from the water bottles. Remember?
Yeah, she was keeping them in her car.
Yeah. So you think about keeping in your car is not good just because you have a bunch of water. I have water just because I want it.
Right.
But you got to think about when they make it, they transport it, they get it to the stores where you go buy, how long it's sitting in a warehouse, in the truck, hot, cold, and just what's it, secreting from the plastic. We don't drink out of plastic no more. So those are the things we're learning, So again, what do people hit you up for advice, nutrition, how to? Do you show people how to do this, or you talk to people like the proper steps?
As far as what?
Homesteading, preparing.
Oh, yeah.
Everything we talked about, or what we're talking about. Do people hit you up for advice too?
Yeah, they do. They do quite a bit when they see what we're doing. How do you X? How did you get started with your garden? I think at least what we've shown on video and stuff that our garden is still, I consider it small still, but to a lot of people, it's like, whoa, how are you doing all that? Like, how do you get started? So it's a humbling experience to have that asked, because I remember when I was asking those same questions, and I still do ask those questions to people that are doing more than us. It's a constant progression of just trying to be better. But yeah, we get those questions a lot. I get a lot of questions about nutrition and fitness, because most people know my background in that, and they see me and see how active I am, and see I'm doing a series right now, actually, that's going to be a 69 different videos of my personal workouts, just logging it, not so much coaching and things. I have coaching programs that'll be separate, but because people, I get the question all the time, what do you do? What are your workouts? Do you lift heavy, or do you do like CrossFit type stuff, or do you lift light with a lot of reps? And I tell them, yes.
Yeah.
It kind of depends on where I'm at and what I'm doing, but I cycle through a lot of different variations. So I'm doing videos on that right now.
Okay. One thing, I mean, it's a good segue too, man. Because one thing I know we tried doing after I got sick, I was trying to get in shape. Remember, I was trying to, just couldn't. Just last November, I started working out and I was doing okay. Actually from November till now, I've been working out. We haven't been doing the past few weeks because, dude, I really do still feel my lungs are shot. Like I'll go through a week or two where I just can't, and so, but what's like your routine in staying healthy now? Like, I know you said you're doing videos, but like if an average overweight person wants to start somewhere and start preparing to live that healthy lifestyle, man, where does one start? Maybe give a simple word to where you're not going to lose business, because I know you still teach this stuff, man, and people hire you for this. It's important. But baseline, how does one start when they're afraid to and don't know where?
It's really hard to make those generalizations, and this is one of the things I speak out about, and one of the things I hate about the diet and fitness industry, and why I got out of it to a large extent as far as the online version of it, is because there's so many people that will get in front of a camera and say, this is what you need to do to lose weight. And they're talking to, the power of the internet, you're talking to thousands, maybe millions of people. That piece of advice might be good for this segment of the people, but 80-90% of the rest of them, that might not be what they need. So I really hesitate to make those kind of generalizations, but I mean, if you're talking very, very generic, I mean,
first step, I would say,
cut out the food that you get in packages. Anything that comes in a package. Eat more natural food.
That's in the package.
That's true.
You hypocrite.
Nice catch.
No, I'm playing.
The middle aisles.
Well, anything that doesn't say StoreHouse.
Right. No, I mean, natural food. I mean, everything we get these days it's just
preservatives, man. It's crazy processed food.
It's just so much added sugar, because like we were talking about, the products that are getting to our stores have already spent so much time on trucks. And then even potato chips. Okay, you get the potatoes. Where did those potatoes come from? The process to get to the finished product, and then how long it sits on the shelf. Yeah. They have to put so much chemicals in that so that it won't go bad. Because they know by the time this product is in stage A to the time that it's actually eaten, it's going to be months, maybe longer.
Man.
So there's just so many preservatives to keep those things, shelf stable, that we're just consuming so many chemicals. It's nasty.
It's like we don't know. We just think, again, convenience. Oh, it's what you think you're eating healthy and you're not. It's like the packaged salads. It's like, I don't know. I'm always like sketched out when I go to a restaurant and they bring out a salad I could have bought at Walmart, and they're charging me $12 for it too. It's like
they probably bought it at Walmart.
Yeah. So and it looks like the same bag they ripped open. It was like, all right, here we go, $12. Yeah. I know, and I think where we've learned too, man, is just be aware of that. Because again, we stopped. I'm guilty. This past Saturday, I went on a chips and sour cream binge. Oh, yeah. I was just fiending for it. I don't do it a lot. We stopped sodas, sodas, sugaries, all that. Rockstar. You remember me? I was slamming those all the time. So again, one thing I love about what you're doing here, man, it's promoting a healthy lifestyle, and it's like it's bringing your family. Speaking of, then, like your wife and your kids, they love doing it. It's just like a family thing you guys do. Is it just you guys right now too?
As far as what part of it?
Building, making all, or just.
Oh yeah, it's family owned and operated, the business itself, and yeah, it's just a lifestyle for us. Like I said, my daughter's the one kind of drew me into the country-ish type lifestyle, and it kind of morphed, evolved from there. But yeah, everything's family owned, operated. It's a lifestyle for us. The healthy eating, the growing our own food as much as possible, the tending to animals, garden, being as, like I said, as independent and separated from the system as humanly possible.
I agree. Now, you mentioned protection is one of your P's, right? Provide, protect.
Right.
Let's get into common sense protection. People, maybe the awareness of, the extreme, like people think it's extreme to buy your own weapons, buy your own guns, and, do the right way. I don't want to put you on blast, but Pat, what do you have? You have an arsenal, call the cops, it's like, it's not that, but what are the basic steps because I told you to bring something.
Yeah.
And that John looks heavy.
It is heavy. I mean,
not my little.
Protection can be as simple as situational awareness. I mean, it starts there to when you're walking with your family, that you don't let your little girl drift off and down the toy aisle when there's a man down there that's, glancing over. I mean, protection at all times. Your family is those are your jewels right there, your wife and kids. I mean, protecting as simple as that, or, if it were to get into confrontational situations, or like when it comes into preparedness, do you have ways to protect should the worst happen? And we never want to think of that, but it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it, right?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's like you said it. A lot of people don't like to think of it. Me, I live in this world. It's like, what if, scenarios. I always try to put these guys in scenarios.
Yeah.
If someone breaks in, if someone, what do you do? Where do you go?
Yep.
Lately, because again, man, I'm on TikTok, man, and I've been getting a lot of healthy living, obviously politics. I get a lot of, funny fight videos. I can see all that. But one thing I've been getting is a lot of home invasions, and dude, I walk around, I have a gun in reach with mag in reach every day, every time I walk in. I'll put it out there. I don't care.
Yeah.
People can listen, watch, and I'm strapped. Come, please,
right.
please break into my house. And again, it's teaching these guys a level of common sense too, man, because I think we're not teaching that, man, because I talked about this in my last Friday's podcast, which is actually doing really great, by Andrew Tate talking about, because he has daughters, how do you prepare your daughters, to not, get kidnapped or fight or defend off a man. He's like, one thing I'm doing is I'm teaching them not to ever put themselves in a position where they have to fight.
Right.
It's just common sense. Like you got daughters.
Yep.
I got daughters. So it's like, it's different.
And even in their martial arts, my daughters take different versions of martial arts training. They have been since they were 3. But they teach you that in martial arts, that your first version of self-defense is to avoid those situations.
Mm-hmm.
When you go for your concealed weapons permit, and anybody with any kind of firearms background or training, when you go to those types of trainings, all the good ones will tell you, okay, we're training this today. We're training for a tactical situation. We're training for this or for that. But your first line of defense is to avoid situations where you will ever need this.
Yeah.
So, that's always the plan, is to never have to need it.
Yeah.
But it only takes once, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can wish all you want that, that'll never happen. What's the chances of that ever happening? The chances are probably slim, but it only takes once.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, the value that I place on my children and my wife, I'm not willing to risk that one time. I'm not willing to risk that. I'm not willing to. And like you said, the home invasions, how those have spiked, it's only going to get worse. The worse society gets, the more they cut back on government assistance for those who depend on it. The more that they close down stores, if that happens again, the more problems there is with the supply chain, where it's harder to get food. The more society degrades, the more it's just going to get worse.
Well, I know. Yeah, you're right. I think it was in L.A. or San Francisco that they made it illegal for store owners to stop shoplifters.
Yeah.
It's like, so it's just what? Let them take my life? Let them take the things I'm working hard for?
Right.
Like all the break-ins in San Francisco, the cars, and they just let them. Mm-hmm. And again, that's the world deteriorating, man. And what you're not doing, what you're not doing to prepare, man, you're gonna be so left behind in it.
Yeah.
You know, as you sit on your mountain of fried food or drinks, or what do you call it, freeze dried,
yes.
and you're sitting on your throne. It's like, told y'all, you know, it's like,
yeah, and
that's crazy.
I don't relish in that. I don't want to be the I told you so guy after the fact. I'd rather people, you know, because the more people will prepare now, the less I have to worry about defending myself later. You know, because you're not going to be coming after my stuff if you're prepared. I want people to be prepared. You know, and there's different levels of prepared. And most people think of, I hate the term prepper, but most people think of that as, I got to have a bunker and gas mask and one of these.
Yeah.
A plate carrier with, you know, I got to have bulletproof this and that. I mean, it's more than that. And like I stress a lot of times the food aspect is that's where I would start when in the preparedness journey for anybody listening that's even the slight bit interested in it, is because there's a chance you will need a firearm one day to defend yourself. There's a chance you might need one of these vests if somebody's shooting at you. There's a chance you might need a gas mask if there's some type of chemical warfare, or if there's just, you know, like we've seen recently with trains derailing and chemicals in the air. I mean, it could be anything. There's a chance for all those things, but there's a 100% chance you're going to need to eat.
Yep.
So even if nothing happens, even if everything goes smoothly for the rest of your life, you're still going to need food. So it's always good to have that food and water. That's the foundation of it all.
If that's not like the best way to end this, man, is, you know, we need sustenance, and the thing, what you put in is the results of what your body's gonna look or be and feel. You put in junk, you're gonna look like junk.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, I'm not saying this to boast or anything, but I'm 46 years old. I mean,
look at this. Get on that. Get through that again.
Let's go.
Boy, hold on. Get on. Look at I was like, what the heck, boy, make me licking my lips. I was like, do that again, boy. Look at this little guy. Look at it.
Hey, you got some arms, man.
Look at it. Ooh.
But I'm 46 years old. I still play basketball with people half my age.
Dude, you ball it up still.
I mean, I'm still playing sports. I coach all my girls' sports. I mean, I might not be the strongest. I might not be the fastest. I might not be this, whatever. But if you put me in a situation that requires some kind of, puts a physical demand on my body against people even half my age and like a wide variety, if we had like a decathlon of events that require physical exertion,
You like mollywop some food.
I like my chances.
Well, see, I'm the same way. You know, one thing I've been doing, because again, I've been working out, man. One thing I've learned is obviously, you know, this muscle build burns fat, you know, then you put in protein, you do all that. So I've been lifting, man, because I remember, man, you saw me, I was frail, you know, and I couldn't do nothing. And so one thing I knew, I'm never going to get caught off guard again.
Yeah.
You know, we were working out, eating healthy before I got sick, and that's what saved my life. My body was strong enough.
And that right there is preparedness. That's a prepper. Whether you know, it's like I said, it's not about necessarily guns and ammo and bunkers, and it's preparing for you don't wait until you get into the hospital to start eating right. Or to start, I need to change my life. You don't wait until your kid gets hit by a car in the street to say, maybe you should not play in the street. You don't wait for the tragedy, you know, before you start planning for it. So, I mean, that's as simple as preparedness is. That's all it is.
And it's not what people think. You think about the old white Karens and Darrens. Oh, I got my gun right here. You know, that's what the representation of what people think that is, and it's not.
Right.
You know, again, I've known you my whole life, and you've always been in shape. You were always like that, and you've always told me. Again, we talked about this our last podcast. Yeah. You know, Pat, I'm in the hospital. I had a heart attack. You're a why? I'm like, you mother! Don't judge me. Yelling at my phone. You hypocrite! Who are you? You know, but it's like, yeah, you're right. I'm fat. You know,
that might have been the wrong time to hit you up about that subject, but
well, no, it's again, and see, because sometimes we think, man, is that too much? Should
Yeah.
I not? But again, you know, I live in this world where I have to follow what I say on this pod, facts over feelings. You know, you need brothers, you need men. Men that are healthy, men that are strong, men that are, have a masculinity about them to tell other men, dude, you're being a little bitch right now.
Right.
You need to get up. You're fat. Quit eating. And much as I didn't like it, after that, that's when we started getting healthy. Because I'm like, dang it. Because you've always told me, you've offered it.
Yeah.
And
And that's biblical. Mm-hmm. That's biblical. You don't let a brother behave in a way that would be detrimental to him.
Facts,
I mean, we're
bro.
talking about physical right now, but it's in the spiritual sense too. I mean, you don't see your brother, somebody you care about, that's wallowing in sin, and you just turn your back on it and be like, well, that's his life.
Yep.
Do you really care? I mean, the Bible even says that the Father chastens those he loves. God will chasten us, and not because he loves us. If he's not chastening you, you're an illegitimate child, it says.
Yeah, you're outside of his will.
Just like we're supposed to do with our children. We chasten them because we want them on the right path. So if you don't correct someone, do you really love them?
Yep.
Right?
Patrick loves me. He just admitted he loved me. I love you too, man.
How do you do it? Oh.
We'll do the connection. I don't know. Let's touch tips. No,
I don't even know what that means.
just two dudes, man.
Oh, no.
Docking.
Hey, did you see the video I saw recently? Of the nurse going like that over the guy's body.
Yeah, the guy was.
She's going to reach for the syringe or something.
Yeah.
And the other doctor was trying to hand it to her, and he was laying on the bed, and he's like, she goes like that to reach for it, and he's like this, and she's like, move your hand.
Yeah.
He does it again, and she's like, no. And then she grabs the syringe from the doctor.
That's so funny. I've seen that one, man.
Oh, that's funny.
But again, dude, I want to thank you, man. Because again, we can talk about so much. You're right. Again, I'm on this path. Me and my son are especially. I've said it last week. I'm a huge fan of Andrew Tate. I love his representation of what a man should be, especially in his household, for his wife, for his kids, for culture, for society, man, for people, man. And me and him are training. He trains. He plays video games a lot, but one thing he's been starting, if he dies on a game, he has his weights next to him and he's lifting. He dies a lot.
Your son?
Yeah. He sucks. So he's all right, I guess I'm lifting.
So he's getting buff.
He is. He's starting to see, because this boy was just, he's fat. He still is, but you see it trimming down the front. He was just, I'm like, bro, we got to do something about that. And recently too, I've been putting on boxing gloves. You see up there, we've been just, on this carpet right here, body shots all night. I'm swinging hard.
Right.
And I'm teaching them to be ready to not be like,
Right.
for a hit. Don't be surprised, because a lot of untrained young boys, man, they just don't know how to prepare for a fight, prepare at any moment. And I'm teaching him that, so he hit me good. I didn't show him.
Yeah.
But he came, he's like, bah, bam, right in my face. He chin checked me, dude. I was like, ooh, boy. I didn't let him show that he got me good, man, but he's getting
Well, he's going to hear it now.
Man, I will mollywop him. But again, last words, last thoughts. Tell people where they can find you. What is your message, man, to the audience? Because, man, we can talk about stuff like this, for hours, especially with today's culture, the politics. But the reality is, if you're not preparing, man, you're going to be left behind. And so what do you feel like, first, where they can find you, website, social media, and I'll have it tagged. And then what's like your message on how people get started, man, to encourage them?
The YouTube channel, Project 5P, on YouTube. We share, I don't share as much. I need to start picking that up and doing more, but anything, living a healthy life, everything that we talked about here, family, homesteading, gardening, protection, all those different aspects of the 5 Ps, what we addressed there, physical fitness, and then StoreHouse freeze-dried foods.com or storehousefdfoods.com to get you some of that deliciousness. And I would say, like we've been talking about, prepare, do whatever you have to do as much as possible to separate yourself from this system. like the Bible says, we're in this world, but we're not of this world. We're supposed to be a separate breed, and that doesn't mean you have to be, you can't go to the store anymore, but there's a difference between going to the store to get something you want and relying on it 100% for all your needs. So I would just encourage people to prepare as much as possible, starting with food. Just have something so that if something were to happen, it's not catastrophic to you.
Yeah.
Men especially, which camera? Men especially prepare, because it's on you. The well-being of your wife, your children, your family is on you. If something goes wrong in society, COVID, something else, the excuse of, well, the stores are closed is not going to feed your children's stomach. It's not. The excuse of, well, I didn't go get a firearm, or I didn't learn self-defense, or the child's gone now.
Yeah.
Child's beat up, child's dead, whatever the case might be, it's too late by that time. Do stuff now. And most importantly, prepare spiritually, because no matter how much food you have, no matter how much food you have stored, no matter how good you are at self-defense, no matter how many guns you have, no matter how many firearms, no matter how much ammo, no matter if you have a bunker, one thing's guaranteed: we're all gonna die. Prepare to meet the Father, meet the Creator, get right with God.
Man, definitely couldn't have, that you hit it right on the spot, man. I appreciate you. I appreciate your time. I know you're doing a lot. I love, again, one thing that we can relate to is that we're very foundational with our families first. Before we were so focused, ministry driven, and, money driven about, but now it's like we're older. Now it's like, we wasted time. Now we're starting to appreciate it. And I feel like you've said it just this whole podcast, man. It's not a matter of just, time, or it's just when it's going to happen. And that especially, and I feel like, again, we're speaking to the men that listen and watch, and whether they have a family or not. What a great way, if you're a single guy, man, to start having a base foundation now, going into a relationship, and then going to having a family. Then when you meet that wife, and she's like, you got me. What a great based way to be as a man, as a father, and a husband.
You're exactly right. I can literally and with sincerity look at my wife in the eyes right now and say, I was planning for you before I even knew you. And it's true. I can look my kids in the eye and tell them that I was planning for you before you were even born, with a lot of these different aspects. And I'm not to say that I have arrived or that I did everything I needed to do. It's still a journey, and I'm still going down that path. But definitely, even if you're single, get started now. I mean, your wife, your future wife, will appreciate that. One more thing real quick about StoreHouse is that we donate 10% of our income through the business to feeding the homeless. So whether that's monetarily, sometimes we'll take 10% of that income and donate it monetarily to a resource that's feeding the homeless, or whether we actually take 10% of that and whatever that dollar amount would represent in product and give it to the homeless, or give it to a shelter, or give it to, if there's going to be some type of outreach going on where people are feeding the homeless, giving that product. So 10% of all our proceeds will go to that as well. That's
awesome. See, again, it's not about making money.
Right.
It's not about trying to get a brand and, to where you're set. You have start this off family first. Obviously God there is the umbrella just that covers it all. But when you look at it, you put family first in it, and then it's actually now that family's help building it. Now the family's going to help bless other families. So again, it's not like you're here just trying to start a, business and make money. It's not about, I know it's not about, I know that's not you, because you want to help. I mean, that just, again, only solidifies why I want to have businesses and guys on like you on the pod, man, just to show. Because you ship out nationwide too, right? You do that too?
We do. Yeah, it's the shipping costs are insane right now. I mean, just because of gas prices and everything. Thank you, Biden. Just kidding.
Old hack.
Yeah. No, but shipping costs can be expensive. But in our local area, we ship pretty frequently, actually.
Okay.
We can and will ship nationwide.
So there's really no limits on people getting their hands on this?
Nope. And you don't have to worry about, shipping, like, well, it's going to take a week to get to me or 2 weeks to get. It's good for 25 years.
Yeah.
So, and it's not going to taste any different. In fact, we just went just the other day. We took a trip with a family from our church and went and had a fun time at the beach. Anyway, we broke into our own storage, which I typically don't do, but I was like, I'm gonna take some freeze-dried stuff. So I dug into the oldest stuff that was, a couple years old, the strawberries.
Really?
Beautiful, lovely, tasted so good, just like the day we packaged them.
That's awesome. You guys are getting like a firsthand on really what you got, what I believe you guys need to start doing. You guys listening, watching, hit this man up. I mean, I just had a bunch of his product. We're gonna finish it. I mean,
you still got little.
I still got little, but I mean, it's messy, but life's messy sometimes, man. But still, it's good, and I feel like I appreciate every aspect of what God's done in our life, what God's doing in your life, man. I'm really happy to have you on to promote you, your business, foundation of what where your life is, man. To see where you're at now, dude, it's a blessing, and I've said this before, you have a huge impact on my life. Bunch of you guys, you, Philip, Eddie, Calm, all these old school guys that just, I grew up following, man. So shout out to you and your family. Hit this man up. I'm gonna have all his links in the description. Go follow his Instagram. Again, he needs to be more disciplined and start posting on social media. But he has something here that you guys need to grab on. So I'm gonna keep tagging him and sharing his work. You guys go check out other seasons for our podcast. Again, big podcast coming up next week or the following. I'm trying to set it up. Things are in the works. Reconciliation with certain people that I've talked about on this podcast, where I am my immaturity, man. But God is, God of reconciliation. But we'll see you guys next week. Have a good weekend. Peace.